we can finally do what we were supposed to do last time.
What was that?
Because we were talking about like, we're competing. Because last time it got kind of ruined because of a last minute situation.
Yes. So I don't know if you know. So we did an episode, and I was supposed to compete in JJ World League on December 16th, but they sold out before. Like they literally sold out the registration day.
Yeah.
Tried to email them everything, couldn't get in, so I couldn't compete in December. So now, February 10th, let's go.
So it's a little bit different.
Are you guys in the same weight class?
Here's the thing.
I'm trying to tell me, but I get the whole story.
Yeah. I'll let him explain it.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
So we competed twice against each other, and we did it one at 208, and then the next one at 195.
Okay.
And I thought he was following me because I thought he wanted revenge, but he
was this no gi?
No, this was gi.
Gi. Okay. Yeah.
And I thought he wanted to revenge, so it's like we met in at 195, and so now like we're teamed up now. We're on this, on the same side.
Yeah.
And so we were talking, and we was like, look, like it makes more sense because we're trying to get a trophy, and it makes more sense for us like to be in different brackets. So he's going to do 95, and I'm going to do 208.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, the 208 I think is going to be easier.
Although I still want my revenge. Like don't get twisted. I want my revenge.
Is there an absolute bracket? Is there an absolute bracket?
So hold on. Now, someone explain this to me. Does World League have absolute?
I think they do.
You had to pay extra, I think.
What they do is they take the stragglers and throw them in the ultra heavies, and they call it absolute. That's what JJ World Leagues has done in the tournaments that I've done.
But can you do it if you have a weight class and you won your weight class? Like, can you?
That's what old boy did.
Yeah, I think you have to win a certain amount in your weight class. Like I think you have to podium at least third place to do absolute. I could be 100% wrong.
I've asked about it, and they've never said like, no, we don't have absolute. And I'm like, all right, cool.
At JJ World League.
Yeah.
Yeah, because IBJF, it's an automatic entry. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, maybe I'm remembering one of the other tournament systems. I thought you had to pay the registration, and then you could enter.
That's how most of them are.
Yeah, it's like an entry, but you still have to bracket though, or you still have to podium.
Yeah, you have to podium. Right?
Yeah. So I've seen ones where you just like if you want to do absolute, you just pay for absolute.
Oh, really?
So and I was asking this question, and I was trying to go on, and I couldn't do it myself. I wanted to do like multiple brackets because there was like one guy that's in no-gi 95, and then I'm competing in 208 as well. So I'm like, I can still cut weight and beat this guy at 95 and then get another gold.
Fucking savage.
I know.
No, dude, I'm hungry, dude. That's what I want. But I don't think they'll let you do a whole bunch of like multiple brackets in the same thing. Unfortunately,
I think you can only do your weight class gi and no gi, and then like if you're gonna do absolute, like however they do their situation, or even if they have a situation, that's how you can triple. But
I'm trying to Google.
Well, either way, I mean, not this tournament, but next tournament, I'm gonna have to do gi and no gi, whichever one I do.
You should have done it this time, man.
I'm not ready, man. I had like a month off. Like even this is gonna be a challenging push for me because I had a month off. Like I stopped training December 23rd is when it was my last day of training, and then I only did I did that one open mat at Forge, the one class at Forge, and then an open mat at Misfits, and that's it. And then I went on my trip, and I just got back. And the first day I got back, I went to Forge. Okay. We rode. So I'm not there yet, like condition wise. But like this whole week I've been wrecked this whole dang week. Like naps, like 2 naps a day, like trying to recover. Like I'm just not there yet.
Where'd you go? Where was your trip?
I was in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Africa for 10 days, and just I recommend going if you've never been. It's a life-changing experience, just a different perspective, and just a good reset from like the everyday grind, if that makes sense.
Wow. What part of Africa did you go to?
Kenya.
Okay.
So was it Suna Magori and then like Nairobi. So like we went to the capital for one day, and then we went to Suna Magori, and we stayed at this location for about, I think it was like 5 days, and then we went to I don't know, some savannah place that was like, then we went on safari and stuff. So yeah.
That's lit.
That's awesome.
I would have tried to get everyone like, you ever tried Jiu Jitsu, dog?
No, but we was talking about that, man. Like I think it'd be a dope idea if you like, after a while, like move there and then train, like teach jiu-jitsu to the kids there.
Yeah, and that's ultimately a plan at the end of the day. So I'm going back next year. So I'm actually gonna probably go every year because it's just something that me and my girl do. Me and my lady, like she likes traveling, and the purpose of going out there is very dear to our hearts and everything. So it's like one of those things that we're gonna end up doing consistently.
That's awesome.
So I'm in the process of trying to this next year develop a solid kids program. So when I go out there, the whole time I'm just teaching kids.
Man, that's so
jiu-jitsu.
cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start like a 503c? Like, do you think you'll actually set it up where you can get charitable contributions and stuff like that?
That'll be the plan in the future. I think this time I'm already so I'm with the organization we went on with is called Kenya Relief.
Okay.
So they're already a nonprofit organization
Nice.
that specializes in I think they have an orphanage, and so there's like elementary, middle school, and high school. All the kids kind of live on a compound. And then across the street is a medical clinic, and then so the missionaries come in and do the surgeries on the patients of the city, or I mean on the country that come in from around the world. I mean, around the country. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So the plan is in the future I'll probably get that, but for right now I want to focus on getting the program for the kids together, and then going forward with that.
Just do a beginner's curriculum, arm bars, trend like just real like minor stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you see someone take off, be like, hey man, we're gonna get you back over here. Get you on an MMA program.
Because you'll find like a savage over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened to Ngannou. One day someone was walking down the street like, you look like you punch hard as fuck. That's history.
It's wild. Yeah, he was just a dude from Cameroon. He wasn't even doing any martial arts.
The crazy thing
He was digging sand ditches, getting yoked.
Yeah.
When I was living in Vegas, he was the UFC champion, and he cannot keep fucking sparring partners because no one wants to take that hit. It was to the point where one dude I trained with, his name's Maki. He was like, "Hey man, I can get you in to train with Ngannou if you want." And I looked him dead in his soul. I was like, "Fuck no."
It's like he wanted to do some grappling around some down, but
even then, dude. One of them elbows kind of like come too far across on my face. Like I can't even sue. Nah.
That guy's range too. I mean, when he's in his stance, and his elbow is down past his waist.
Yeah.
Like his range is unreal.
His arms are very long.
Oh.
Like when he was fighting Tyson Fury, I think that's when I first realized it, because he was able to touch him with things I don't feel Tyson was usually getting used to touched with.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He won that fight too. I don't care what no one says. Ngannou won
You could argue that for sure.
Speaking of fighting, now that I'm like I'm like surrounded by you guys, I'm the only one in this group that only does jiu-jitsu. Like everyone here else does like Muay Thai and something else. Like I feel like I'm the odd man out a little bit.
Now you might be, man. What do you do?
I used to do MMA.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll still do a little Muay Thai at Henzo's once in a while, or do some like fun MMA rounds, so like light sparring.
Okay,
I'm not trying
those dudes at Henzo's are in the like Muay Thai side.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I don't even remember his name, but one dude was like, "Can you hold pads for me?" Super skinny dude. I was like, "It can't be that bad." He almost knocked me off my feet. One kid, cause
it's funny because I've never been to a martial arts gym where it's so. There's jiu-jitsu and there's Muay Thai, and there's like no MMA. There's no, like there's just those two, and it's like 50-50. And I'd say maybe like Venn diagram. There's probably, what would you say, like 15-20% crossover?
So I've only been there for like 3 weeks to a month, and I've only seen one other person besides me do both.
That crosses over.
Okay.
It's pretty like
Really?
The people that do Muay Thai that do jiu-jitsu just do a little bit of Muay Thai. The people that do Muay Thai that do jiu-jitsu just do a little bit of jiu-jitsu.
Interesting.
I don't think there's a lot of, there might be a few like 50-50 people, but it's.
Which one do you think? I'm not saying like you can't put one over there, but if you were in a fight and you can only pick
I
one.
love this question.
No. Seriously.
I love this question.
If you, like
I want
I
to see what you say. What do you say?
So it's a hard question, bro, because in reality, like now that I've like barely started doing Muay Thai, I do not want to run into another one of those dudes on the street and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like a guppy in the pond" compared to them, like in what I know. So I'm gonna go with jiu-jitsu, but at the end of the day, whenever I get good at Muay Thai, it's gonna be Muay Thai.
I'll eat a kick. I'll eat a kick. Like, come on, you better knock me out this first one.
Look, I used to think that, bro. I used to think that until like I started seeing them pads hit, and I looked over and I talked to the dude, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm 17." Nah, dude, you're not eating that grown man kick, bro.
Did you guys see the Rod Tang and Demetrius Johnson Mighty Mouse fight?
Yeah.
I think that kind of answers our question.
No, for sure.
Because although DJ did his thing, I feel like he kind of got a little bit in that Muay Thai match from Rod Tang. And I feel like if you're an elite Muay Thai practitioner, you do kind of have an advantage on your feet a little bit, unless you can eat a kick or take that punch.
Well, here's the thing. Like, they were only able to, in the first round, they were only doing Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So Demetrius couldn't do anything else. When they open it up, that's when you seen like the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I
He
mean?
was shooting right away and taking the back.
Yeah.
It's DJ's a high level grappler.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's got amazing striking too, but I mean, he played the right strategy.
Yeah.
You know, and like for me, if I'm going against a high level Muay Thai guy, like, I mean, I have decent stand up, but that guy's going to wreck me. Like, I'm going to cover my head, try to close the distance and just grapple.
And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do too.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Muay Thai guys, they know how to clinch. You know, they know how to create space. They know how to take away space when they want to. But yeah, if I like gun to my head, if I couldn't give a loaded answer, I would say, and this is why I always tell, you know, parents ask me all the time, like, hey, I know you do martial arts. What should my kid do? I think jiu-jitsu is the best place to start.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
it's such an important foundation. You should learn how to use your hands. You want to know how to stand up if you want to, if you need to.
Yeah.
But if the fight goes to the ground and you've never done grappling,
It's a whole nother world.
You're screwed. It doesn't matter if you kick my leg and broke it. I'm still going to choke you unconscious. Like if the fight goes to the ground.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that's what DJ showed in that second round, right? When he took his back and ended up choking him out.
Yeah.
He put Rod Tang to sleep. Like,
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like once you open it up, it's like you can do nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, honestly, DJ didn't get the respect he deserved in the UFC.
Yeah.
No,
It's so weird, too. I didn't understand that.
Because they don't respect
They don't
small
realize
guys.
what they had.
No, they
Dana's
don't
a
respect
dick.
small guys. Even now.
But
Even
look-
now, don't really respect the small guys.
Yeah. Henry is saying, you know, same thing with him. I mean, he created a huge following.
From being
Henry-
cringe.
Yeah.
Henry
But
Cejudo?
look,
I
love or
wouldn't
hate
fight
the
him.
guy, he created a good persona.
Yeah.
You know, and
I gotta
DJ was an
agree with
exciting fighter, but he never had captured that persona. You know what I mean?
You think if he had a little bit of Chael Sonnen in him?
Yeah, like maybe talking smack or, you know, I don't know, calling people out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it wasn't his style. He was true to himself. But
Speaking of like that personality and building that persona, that MVP and Kevin Holland fight is gonna be nuts. Even though Kevin Holland's my man and he's kind of on a down.
Y'all from the same place too.
Who?
where's that?
You and Kevin Holland. He's from Houston. Aren't you from Houston?
I'm not from Houston.
No, he's
I'm from the border, bro.
$2.99.
$2.99.
Yeah. But those are 3 stacked cards in a row.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
$2.98, $2.99, $300.
Did you hear about the new fight that's been set up?
Which one? Oh, are you talking about the Frenchie and
Alex
Poirier?
Pereira and Tom Aspinall.
Oh, what's happening?
For having to do that?
For heavyweight.
For heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Wait,
dude.
which card?
That's 300.
Is it
It's
official?
Is it 300
Yes.
official?
Yes, it's a headliner.
Dope.
That's lightweight for Poatan.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you put him at full size, full monster mode. He's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
It
is.
says it's speculation still. It says it's not locked.
They need to lock that
They
in.
need that.
They need to lock the heavyweight
Unless
division
I'm missing
needs
it.
that.
It doesn't, because usually
I watched
pops
something
up
this
here if
morning.
it's
I watched
official.
something this morning saying like they're getting like all the like it's not signed yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
everyone's talked, everyone's
that would
agreed.
be-
You know,
I don't
some
think Aspinall stands a fucking
But did you see
chance.
that Saint Denis versus Poirier fight?
I
Yeah,
did.
it's
That's-
on. It's on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
think
yo,
that's-
you see that power move, Dustin Poole?
Oh, yeah.
it's
He acted like it
yo,
was
man,
off.
it's off. It's off. Pay me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a Poirier fan, but he's definitely earned the right to do that.
Why not?
Man, I don't know how you're not a Poirier fan.
He is a dog, bro. He is like he's
It's
a
not
scrapper.
his fighting style, bro. It's
Is it when he
just
lifts
like-
his shorts up when he's fighting?
No, it's not even the bro. I grew around. Well, I know a lot of.
That's street fight right there.
That's the hood side for like, yo, you want to go?
He's from Louisiana.
And
Like,
that's what it is. He's a ghetto boy, and he openly said that he was a bully, and he tries to act like he's not. Like, I don't think he's changed as much as he like lets on
Really?
believe.
I don't know.
But other than that, like his fights, I watch his fights.
Okay.
But in like the pecking order of just bad dudes, he's not up there for me.
I don't know.
Nah,
He ended
me too.
McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, but
McGregor's been sleeping on silk sheets and pillows for years. Dog, you're not a dog no more, bro. You're an old retired dog.
Yeah.
Okay. I see
Yeah,
that.
but like when he comes across what's his name, Gaethje beat the shit out of him, bro.
Yeah, I give you that.
I don't think there's a guy in the top 10 that doesn't beat Conor right now.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I
At
love
least
Conor,
top
bro.
6.
I love Conor. I don't think Conor's beating anyone in the top 15 right now.
Yeah, he's just like you said. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, he posted a picture on the yacht, and somebody was talking shit, and he's like, "Gym on yacht."
Yeah,
yes, I saw
Like,
that.
I mean, come on, those are like post beer, like curls you're doing, dude. Like it's like you're not doing a full on training kit.
You know, it's a thing. It's a thing to be in a place, like when you're training for something. Even now, like with the book you told.
With Winning in Mind. Yeah.
It's like it's something about like the process of getting ready for a fight, and it's like being away from everything. Cutting weight is one of those things. Like it's a different mindset that you need, like that's being created when you're getting ready for a competition. I don't think that I can do that if I was surrounded by like on a yacht and a whole bunch of drugs and stuff like that. Like I need to be in a basement. I need some rats around. I need some sweaty, mean, gruffy looking dudes. I want to be uncomfortable.
It's like when Rocky had to get his rematch with
Yeah.
Clubber.
Yeah, he was too
had
soft.
to change the environment.
True.
There was too many cameras. He had the silk robe.
Yeah.
He had to go with the rusty weights and do his thing. Get back to the old Rocky.
Speaking of Rocky,
true,
real quick, can we just take a second and say R.I.P. Carl's Weather?
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
that
what
man.
happened?
Oh, you didn't know?
Others passed away.
Apollo Creed. He
Creed.
passed away like yesterday,
Damn,
bro.
I didn't
You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah.
76 years old, I think.
76.
I've been R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
Man,
I've been under a rock. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chubbs Peterson.
there is no tomorrow, and that he.
I love that you got it.
To hell with that, I'm playing for Chubbs. Legend.
Definitely a legend. Definitely, I feel his character in Apollo Creed had a really good transformation, right? Coming from this actually leads me into kind of what I want to talk about: the importance of ego in martial arts, in combat sports, and in jiu-jitsu. Mainly because everyone says we're supposed to kill our ego, but the more I do this, I realize that ego is kind of important. Ego kind of drives you forward in certain ways. So. But what I like about his Apollo Creed's character is that he went from this place of being the best, I'm the best, gave an underdog a shot, got knocked down. But not only did he get knocked down, kind of like how I got my ass whipped by you, teamed up, became friends, and DJ too.
He's like,
I wasn't saying me. I was saying twice.
Oh yeah, twice. Yeah, that third one though he won behind closed doors. So. Yeah, but I just ultimately, I guess my question, you've traveled a lot, right? How does ego play into your martial arts?
Really solid point. And I agree with your sentiment that ego has its place. In that book that Michael just mentioned, With Winning in Mind, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to put it on my list.
Highly recommend. It's a book, out of all the books I've ever read or recommended, it's usually up there at the top. Because whether you're doing competitive jiu-jitsu, if you're starting a new business project, if you just need kind of like a mental management system, it's so practical. So it's called With Winning in Mind by Lanny Bassam. He was a Olympic rifle shooter. With really, really mental sport, apparently. I've never done it, but I can imagine, right?
Yeah.
And he's coached like really high-end athletes, in a variety of different sports. But when you read this book, it sounds like it's made for jiu-jitsu. You guys will love it. But to your point about ego, he talks about ego, and he talks about a place, he calls it self-image, right? And there's a place where having the right healthy amount of self-image, it gives you confidence. You can move, you can flow, you trust yourself, you're not hesitating.
Yeah.
Your self-image is too big, you go in with too big of an ego, somebody's going to eat your lunch, right?
Yeah.
And so it's he calls it the triad state. So self-image is one of the pegs on the triangle, the triad state. And then there's unconscious mind and there's conscious mind.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of other good principles in there, around goal setting, visualization, affirmation statements, and it gives you just like a playbook for like getting this thing right.
Yeah.
And so it's helped me a ton in competition. I read it for the first time right before nationals. I was actually a white belt that had to compete at blue belt because of my MMA experience.
Okay.
And like I was like really psyched out. I'm like, am I ready? Read that book, got centered, actually won nationals as a white belt. Yeah, so it was cool. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know, I've probably read it 9 times now. I go through it pretty fast because I almost have the book memorized. But yeah.
What's your belt now?
I'm purple belt.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I travel, I'm not I like to think that I probably would, like I have a twin brother, he's a black belt.
Okay.
Like I like to think that I probably would have progressed
with him.
Well, yeah, if I wasn't traveling so much and actually had a place that was, I was following proper promotion. But,
I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I think we can all kind of attest to that because I've jumped gyms, he's traveled, traveled.
Yeah.
It's good though. Yeah.
Have you been to any gyms like outside of the U.S. that were like, yo, they were legit?
Oh yeah. No, listen, guys. Like the best gym I've ever trained at. Shout out to Kit Dale. Do you guys know Kit Dale?
I do not.
Yeah. So
sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. So he had a gym called Absolute MMA that I believe he owned it and he sold it to. I don't know if Lachlan Giles owns it, but he's like the head coach there. Do you guys know Lachlan Giles?
Yeah, I know Lachlan.
Yeah, so dude, the Aussies, those fuckers can grapple, man.
Well, like we ran into a few at A-side. There's like 4 or 5 of them that just randomly come.
And listen, the Russians, like you've probably trained with some Russians at Henzo's too. Like don't sleep on the Russians. Like the Dagestanis, like they're, but the Aussies, I don't know what it is, man. Like they just have it figured out. Like they have, though. My brother has a theory. He says it's because they don't give any credence to any of the lineage. Mm-hmm. If it works and it's best practice, they want it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they'll throw away something shitty they were doing for something better. Mm-hmm. And so like going back to the ego, like you do that, you're going to end up with best practices. You're going to be doing things at a high level and repeating to practice those things until something else better comes along.
Copy.
But those guys at Absolute MMA, that's probably the best place I've ever trained in terms of competition, in terms of like just killers. I mean, like blue belts, purple belts. I was getting fucked up, dude.
That was in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Melbourne. So I'm excited to go back. I want to. It's good, man. It's like you don't want to think that you've arrived and like, oh, I'm the best purple belt there is, and then some blue belt just freaking thrashes you. Like, it's awesome. It's like we need that. We need that.
You know, I never thought about like the ego of like, because when I first got in it, they were talking about like, oh yeah, like my belt is under such and such. You know, it's like people have like this pride to be under like Henzo or Jean-Jacques or whatever. It's like, I want my belt to be under here. That's like an ego thing, and I like how you can just like let it go and be like, look, man, I just want the best practice, period. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I don't care who you under. If I can wreck you, it doesn't matter what he, you know, like that you got your belt under him.
Right.
You know?
It's for me, like I've jumped gyms so much, like it doesn't matter. I don't care who you got your belt from. Like that's kind of always been my philosophy. Like I started Gracie Baja, a lot of that I kept. A lot of it I threw the fuck out just because it's not beneficial for me.
But you know, like people really care about that. They care about having a belt under Homolo or
Here's what I'll say about that, man. I've choked out a lot of those dudes that have had those prestigious belts, and I've been choked out by a lot of dudes that have belts from back like garages.
Good point.
Yeah. So it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's how you've built your game and how it compares to how I've built mine. And can you work around it, or can I work around yours?
Great point.
Like I don't care who you like. You can get your belt from Carlos Gracie himself. I'm still gonna choke you, bro.
Yeah,
I can agree with that same sentiment.
That's the ego coming up.
Well, he said it the other way too. He said it the other way. Yeah.
You know, like I've been choked too, but like at the end of the day, like we have to have some kind of ego, or else I wouldn't be able to will myself to go back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I take me getting tapped out or choked as I'm gonna tuck my tail and go home and play video games for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I do both.
Honestly, I mean, I'm at Forge now. I'm also cross training Misfits. They have a really good jiu-jitsu program, and they also have a really good Muay Thai program. So it's going to be nice getting a juxtaposition of like going from one gym to the other and getting multiple training in. What I really like about Forge, though, is that, man, bro, there is not an easy roll in there.
No.
There's no easy roll in there
Even
whatsoever.
That's great.
Even the white belts.
Even the white belts. Like, there's this one white belt, Pete, who, like, man, like, I can roll with them. You know how it is when you can roll with the white belt, but they still give you problems. Like, I really have to work on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying, but also it's that humbling of the ego of like, man, just because you're a blue belt, purple belt, whatever belt you are, a white belt can still make you go, damn, that was tough.
You know, when I was training for the first time and I was getting beat up really bad, like, why are these dudes going so hard on me for it? They were like, we got to kind of like beat you down mentally so you don't never feel like you can beat us when you get better. That's what you got to put Pete down to let him know, like, hey, you'll never be able to beat me. Because you know when he gets some skill, he's gonna be hell on wheels. Dude.
He's gonna be proud.
Is he a kid?
No,
he's an old guy.
Okay.
He's like 250 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Of pure nastiness. Like he's those white belts.
This Pete guy, huh?
No, dude. He would see you and love you. He'd be like, yo, come on.
Yeah.
But he's like one of those white belts that like, he'll just hug your head really tight. Yeah. You're like, come on, man, this is not jiu-jitsu. But you're like, all right, let's just.
But you kind of have to take it. Yeah, you kind of have to take it because you have to wait for him to tire out so you can make your move. Because if you don't, then he's gonna submit you. He got me the other day with like the mother's milk. He got me with the mother's milk. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of annoyed by it.
As a big dude, bro, big guys, if you're gonna do jiu-jitsu, start fucking inverting. Like, get some skill. Because that's why it's so hard to find roles. Because everyone looks at me like, oh, that guy's just gonna mother's milk me.
Right.
So I'm like, no, bro. Like, I like to roll.
That's worse.
You playing some worm guard and shit?
Yeah, I'll play whatever guard you want me to play, bro.
But that's worse. I would rather you mother's milk me than start inverting. I'm like, if you start inverting, I'm like, this freaking guy knows something.
When we finally rolled together, we started off real smooth, and he started breaking my guard, and I inverted towards like to get the leg lock, and he looked at me like I did some sorcery.
Like, because you move so fast for a big guy, it's misleading.
Yeah.
And then when you start, like, you see the speed, I'm like, crap, now I got to deal with this.
That's why I go to the gym and just lay there. Like, I want everybody to go, look at this fucking lazy dude. Look at this guy.
You didn't lay there with me. You were
no. So when the professor's talking or whatever, you'll catch me like hand on the head, just like chilling, laying there like a pinup model or something until it's time to go. I just pretty much put up the facade. Like, I'm a fat guy that doesn't do nothing. Like, I'm just here to, have a good time until it's time to roll.
Nice.
I respect that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And so this has come up, especially with like traveling to different places. And I've talked to a professor about it, and he told me like, okay, then this is what you do. But I know you guys are probably doing it long enough to have done this. At your gym and visiting another gym, if you roll with a black belt and you catch them, do you not tap them? Do you like let it go?
I usually let it go. For me, actually,
it's two questions. So, would you do that? Like, if you catch a black belt at your gym, would you take it? And same thing at a gym somewhere else, like you visiting somewhere.
Both times I usually let it go. Mainly because I know it depends upon what I feel from that black. Let's just say that. Like, if I know they're a black belt, like I've rolled with black belts in no-gi and I haven't known they were black belts. And I've turned the pace up, and at the end of the match, you're like, "Whoa, what belt are you?" They've asked me, you know that whole rigmarole of like, "Damn, where you train at? What belt are you? Like, how long you been doing this?" It's like, I'm a black belt, and you gave me work. Like, I've had that happen in no-gi with black belts, but I would have never turned it up to that level if I hadn't known that they were black belts. I was just matching the pace that I was getting, if that makes sense. But I've been at gyms where I know the black belt that's in charge of the gym has an ego. So if I submit him, I know it's going to be a problem for me later. So you have your way with me. I'm just going to tap every time.
And it's a respect thing. Like, since you're a black belt, I'm not going to tap you.
I don't know if it's necessarily a respect thing. It's more of like, I just don't feel like dealing with their ego and then me having to decide, do I have to turn on my ego to a point where it will be disrespectful? Because there's a level for me that's like, hey, you're disrespecting me now. And I feel like because I'm a non-confrontational person, it's easier for me to just say, hey, I'm just gonna put my ego to the side and let you win. You can win all these battles, it don't matter. I'll get you when it really matters, if it ever gets to that point.
Personally, it depends. Like, so if I'm gonna train at a gym, I kind of expect the black belts to want to roll with me. Like, you're the top of the mat. Like, you're the teacher. Like, you're the test.
Yeah.
So if I'm at my gym and it's a black belt that I'm cool with and I know their just demeanor and their persona, like, in reality, as a black belt, you shouldn't take getting submitted by one of your students as a negative thing. You should take it as a positive because you taught them. You know. But whenever
it's getting better,
but whenever I go to other gyms, the black belts usually like go roll. They know better. Go roll with the students. But I think I'd probably let it go just because I don't know him. I don't know his persona. I don't know his ego. I don't know how he's going to react. But like, I'd never sign for a gym where the black belt has that attitude and that energy.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I have.
Yeah.
What about you?
You know, if I'm dropping into a place, kind of going off with what Devontae said, I feel like if they're giving me everything they got, I'm going to give them everything they got. But usually with black belts, you tell me what you guys think. It usually, like, you get a feeling from their energy, like if this is going to be a pace match, if they're going to let you work. If you let me work, I get the front headlock. I love the Darce. I might break them down with the Darce, but I'm not going to like whip it through and like, oh, I got you, because then they're just going to turn it on and like fuck you up, right? Or, it's just not cool to do, especially as a visitor, I feel like. But like if we're starting slow and we pick up the pace and they're going for stuff, I'm going to go for stuff too.
Okay. Copy.
He just became my best friend, bro.
So, but like I would say that not just for black belts, but for anybody, like I almost always let them kind of set the pace. And then I'll go, especially as a visitor, like I don't want to set the pace because maybe it's a pace they didn't want. And I like to be invited back and like, oh, that was cool, that guy came through, and then let other visitors come. You know what
Hold
I mean?
on, but you didn't. Will you tap them?
If we're going and it's like competition style match, especially if it's a black belt, I know, and we're cool with each other. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
All right, and if you're visiting somewhere,
if I'm visiting somewhere, I don't think I would, man. I don't think I would. Unless, like, they're just, it's, like, really easy and they're giving it to me and we're just kind of flowing. Okay, I got you in armbar. You got me in a footlock. Like, I don't feel like I'd slap on a submission, though.
okay.
I don't know.
And the follow
Depends, though.
And the follow-up question is, like, do you lose respect for the school if that happens?
No.
No? No?
It depends upon how the black belt would handle it. That, like, if they handle it in a poor manner, if they try to turn up and try to, that thing where you tap someone and they try to bring it as hard as they can the next round and try to submit you and like just try to dominate you, then it's like, bro, you're a black belt. This should have happened the first time. I should never put you in this position to where I could have tapped you. Go ahead.
I can't hear you on the headphone.
Oh, you can't? Interesting.
I can hear you now, but when you were talking, I couldn't.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it.
Wait, so was your question losing respect for the gym if I tap the person or based on their reaction?
No. If you just tap them, period. No. Forget the reaction. Like, if you just
Dude, we all get caught. You know what I mean?
And not only that, bro, you have to realize that black belts are legitimately giving you what they think you know.
Right.
No.
And they might be letting you work and you catch them.
No.
You know what I mean? So, like...
But we've all rolled enough to know, like, when someone's letting us play and someone's like, they don't want to, because especially for us three, like we're bigger guys. Anytime we get into a role, I can feel like if I'm bigger than the person, I can feel them using way more power than like what I'm actually giving them, and I'm thinking like, I'm not even trying to go that hard, and that's just what it is for the rest of the round. I'm like, okay, here we go, and there's been a couple times where I've caught a black belt, and I didn't know the rules, I didn't understand it, and I can tell like he was upset. Like I tapped the instructor, and he was upset. I can tell he was upset. And when I went back to my professor, I said, "Hey, is there like unwritten rules about like if you go to somewhere, and you're rolling with the professor or a black belt, if you catch something, do you just let it go? He's like, yeah. It's like a respect thing.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you feel differently about it.
I don't know. I mean, like, I could see why that's a thing. I guess, like, I don't know. I wasn't there for your role, but like, I mean, was the guy letting you work, or like, were you guys? Did you let him set the pace, or were you setting the pace?
No. I let him set the pace.
Okay. Well, I say it's fair game then.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, anytime I roll, I like try to put myself in a compromising position and try to work out of it.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
What'd you get him with? Don't look at me. You wrist locked him, dude. Don't look at me.
He got him with the
collar choke. I caught him with a collar choke. And I had a Kimura, and I let it go. And I'm like, is he giving me this? I'm like, all right, I just let it go. And he was like, oh, good.
Was he an old guy?
He was an older guy. Like,
was he a lot lighter than you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, but here's my thing, and it's like a big misconception. Like, when I first got into this, I thought if you were a black belt, you never got submitted by anyone else under you.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not the case. Apparently, like,
no, there's levels to the game. You know this.
Yeah. But it took me a while to know, like, there's like a white belt, black belt, a blue belt, black belt, a purple belt, black belt, a brown belt, black belt, and a black belt, black belt.
Yeah. There's definitely those people that got their black belt just because of time on the mat. Like that's 100% a thing. It's a thing in every sport. But, usually the people who are instructors, they're instructors for a reason. And like whether their days are past, whether like they're just trying to like let you go. I could see how they're like, oh, just kind of like catch it and let it go. But if he set that pace and you caught him, I feel like he should kind of rub some dirt in it and get over it. That's just how I see it. But if he was just kind of letting you work, letting you get things, and then you just yike the joke.
Dude, and here's the thing, like sometimes like someone will be really rough with me and I still won't be rough back. Yeah. And I'll just kind of slide under them and get things. But, I don't know, I felt bad about it.
I'm going to say because I roll with you, I'm going to go trust that it was the scenario that you say it is. That
do I roll hard?
No. What I'm saying is because I know
you're really cool to roll with.
Yeah, you're. I feel like
roll,
that's part of the reason why I fuck with you, right? Is because I feel like you're like me. It's like you set the pace. Whatever you give me, like you said before, my strength is your strength. Whatever you give me is what I'm going to give you. If you're playing lighter, I'm going to play lighter. If we're playing more of a cardio-based game, I'm going to work open guard and play more of a cardio-based game. And I feel like you're that same way. So I feel like you probably did what you need to do.
Yeah.
Cardio-based game sounds disgusting.
But I wonder if you did unconsciously turn it up a little bit because he's a scout. and you wanted that scalp. You're like, I'm taking that scalp.
He's like, sorry.
There's even times where I know I've turned it up. There's times I've gone to the gym and I'm like, today I'm eating. I don't care who it is, I'm eating. Yeah. But then when it comes to the black belt, I can see that like, oh, they're turning. I feel they're turning up on me because they know I'm eating. Yeah. So I'll dial it back. Like, you can finish me. I don't care. Like, I'm not even going to defend it. I don't care what it is. If I feel that I have to put, that point of like I did that extra, that Neanderthal strength that we talk about into it to get out of a submission or escape a position. When I know I have to do that, that's when I'm like, I'll stop. You have it. Whatever it is, you win. I don't care if it's position. I don't care if it's submission. It's yours.
Yeah.
I feel that. It just really depends. Like at A-side, whenever I rolled with Armin, I knew Armin wanted me to try and submit him. Like, it just depends on the person,
Yeah.
So I was trying to rip his ankle off every chance I got. But
and see, like with Armin, I knew I was way stronger than him, and it was hard for me to decide what was going to be challenging to him and what was going to be me actually trying, if that makes sense. So I didn't really try with him.
So no shade on Armin or anything like that. Do you feel like there may have been like this thing of like, oh, what's what I'm looking for? Like it's ego, but it's something else. It's like when you're better than someone, when someone thinks like you may have their number, and I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But do you think it was a little bit of ego involved with him?
I I think the things that I say on this podcast affect some things within him. That's probably what I'll say about that.
Okay.
I understand just the way I speak on here to people who have their own insecurities or ego issues or whatever. It's gonna speak to that's just who I am in general. I've always known that I like to think of myself as a disruptor, right? Like I speak what is my honest truth. But if you have any issues within yourself with what I say, it's going to spark something in you, and it's going to cause a dislike for me. Even though I'm a non-confrontational person. I want peace and love for everyone. I want everyone to be happy, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I want everyone to get better, and us all rise together. You know, I don't want it to be this thing of like, of course, there's like, you're better than me, you're probably better than me, right? That's okay. I have no problem with someone being better than me because that means now I have a chance to get better myself, right? Yeah. I have a chance to try and get on the same playing field as them because for me, this has always been to be my goal is to be an elite black belt. Yeah. It's not, we were talking about those white belt, black belts, blue belt, back, you know, that level. Yeah. When I'm a black belt, I don't want anyone to be like, man, is he really a black belt? Mm-hmm. Was he just doing this because he was here for 10, 20 years? No, I want it to be like, Jason Matlock, yeah, he's a solid roll. That's a solid black belt, and that's what I want.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when you were talking about trying to make everybody happy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and especially something like jiu-jitsu, like it's a martial art, but there's an ideology behind it.
Yeah.
Like the way that we think about jiu-jitsu, which is probably pretty linear. Like we're just trying to have fun. We're trying to get better. I think we all compete. Like there's a way that we think about jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And then there's other people that it's more internal they don't care about other people getting better. They care about themselves getting better. Yeah. And like the nuancing of that, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard or read of the book, Sapiens.
No.
It's really, really good. I highly recommend it.
You give me all kind of books.
Yeah. Noah, forget what his last name is or how to pronounce it, but he's a, PhD. I think he's an anthropologist or maybe even interdisciplinary scientist. But anyways, he talks about like we as humans, like sapiens, our brains are wired to kind of like either embrace an imagined reality or try to create a new imagined reality. Okay. Right? And that's where conflict happens, right? Nobody's right or wrong, essentially. It's like we live in this world that we were born into where money happens to exist. And there's hierarchy and we kind of just accept it. And you're either accept that imagined reality that everyone else has bought into, or you try to disrupt it, like you said. Yeah. And there's people that just want to maintain that homeostasis, like that state that they're in. They don't want change. Yeah. And so they're going to fight violently at times to try to protect that system, that construct, whatever that thing is. Yeah. And jiu-jitsu is the same way. Like if I'm going to put this much time into something and I'm going to collect this belt that has a special color on it that says that I'm worth something in this hierarchy, I want to have a say on how this whole thing plays out in my community and the global community. And those things often come at odds. Yeah. And I think that's where you see a lot of the feuds. It's like, it's good intentions all around, but it's people kind of either trying to protect what's there or change from within. Yeah. And ultimately that's where you see a lot of that, kind of that butting of the heads.
Yeah. I agree with you. Go ahead.
It's funny because I've been around a lot of sports, bro. I played basketball, I played football, and that's a constant. There's always that one person on the team who wants to change something about the team. Yeah. And he's going to gather as much people as he can to either back him or everyone's just going to weed him out or, like you said, in some cases, fight violently to keep what they want. Yeah. And unfortunately, we do a sport where
it's like
getting violent is the whole purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something. You brought that microphone closer.
No. I was like, get it closer. Sorry, like say something deep. No.
Well, then, dang. So let me ask you this. You travel a lot. Do you cross-train when you're traveling? Are you training multiple gyms? Are you training specifically one? What is your process?
Yeah, so I went to update my list the other day. I think I've trained at like going on like 70 different gyms. Okay. Like between like MMA, jiu-jitsu, like Muay Thai, kickboxing. And I didn't do this early on enough, but since then, if I find an old picture or I, pick up an old rash guard and forgot about it, like I'll write the gym because I want to collect like every gym that I've actually been to.
That's what I do too.
Yeah. It like bums me out that I haven't like followed the same system where like I get a picture, like I collect it, like where it's like an Oakland album. But it is really cool. Like if I'm traveling, usually at least a few weeks out, I'll find a gym that's close to the hotel or close to Airbnb. I'll contact the professor. They're almost always cool. Like 2 times ever, I wasn't invited to drop in. And this was pre-COVID, so like they didn't even have COVID as an excuse. They just didn't want outsiders. I'm not sure.
They didn't want to get beat up.
No.
They
Well,
knew
dude,
they
the
didn't have
one-
no real offerings.
Gracie Baja's like that. They won't let you. No. Yeah, they will. They won't let you drop in. They'll like have you do like an introductory class.
Bro, I feel like
And it's always like an intro booty class. Like you would have been bored.
the only reason why John Jack let me is because of you. I know that. They were like, because I didn't set up an appointment. Like they were like, you need to set up an appointment next time. They were very clear about that.
Yeah.
They were cool with Nate.
Yeah, I just walked in.
But he was also with me too. So
But yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying.
maybe
Like,
that thing.
yeah.
But it was also open mat too.
Yeah,
I
it was
went
like-
first because
Okay, yeah,
because
you
it was
went to the
class.
regular-
I went to a
Yeah,
regular class.
yeah.
In that class, I know the instructor was like, nope, we're not teaching you nothing. We're going to do pass and sweep this whole time. I was like, I kind of like this for new people.
Yeah.
Not to take, go ahead, continue. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No. That's pretty much it. Like I 99.9% of the time they're pumped to have you. Sometimes they pay a drop-in fee. Sometimes they're like, no, and then like I'll just buy a T-shirt or a rash guard to, like as a thank you. But no, man, I've had so many cool experiences. I mean, there's things that I do to this day, like in tournament, multiple times a week in practice that like I picked up at this random gym here that they happen to be teaching that day.
Okay.
Dope. And then I get to show that to somebody else. And then they like, it's so cool, like my imagined reality of what jiu-jitsu is, where it's just like shared knowledge, constantly improving and making those best practices. And it's really cool to see guys that have been doing something a certain way for years, let it go because some traveling purple belt happened to like, oh, actually, I like that better. I'm going to start doing it your way.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's probably ego there where people aren't always willing to do that, but it is cool to see when it does happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
I think we've seen that on like a mass scale recently. Because how long have you been training?
So like wrestling and combat submission wrestling I did before jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I first like put the gi on actually training like real like jiu-jitsu in 2015.
So yeah, you're gonna remember, bro. Do you remember in 2015, heel hooks and leg locks was still like a cardinal sin? Like if you did that in the gym, they were gonna kick you out. And now there's like a month dedicated to feet smelling.
Yeah.
Every jiu-jitsu gym everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
It was considered like the Hail Mary of like, you did that means you suck because that's all you can do is grab. Now it's like you need that just to be neutral on the mats.
Dude, my first true Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach, Andre Maracaba, you should look him up. He has a really good match against JT Torres. Actually, footlock
I was about to
finished him.
say that name sounds super familiar.
He's a beast. He's had like, I don't know, 15 knee surgeries, so he doesn't compete anymore.
Where was this gym at?
Well, he's from Brazil, went to Philly, and then he opened his gym like when he first started learning English, like in Phoenix, Arizona. He was at Power MMA. He was Power MMA's old jiu-jitsu coach.
That name sounds stupid familiar.
But he was telling us a story about when he was a teenager, or like, I don't know, maybe early 20s competing. I think it was in Brazil. He was losing a match and he threw a Hail Mary footlock on a dude and finished him, and he got like booed out of it. Just a regular old footlock. But it's like, you mother, like they were so, it's like, dude, I grabbed something of yours, squeezed it, and you submitted. How is that? But it is funny. And the heel hooks things, I kind of get there. I've rolled with people who are irresponsible with heel hooks, where I had to take a couple weeks off from training because they got there and it wasn't catch and release is the policy 100%.
With any foot.
Yeah, dude. Like get there. Okay, I got it. We're going to let go. Now, if the person rolls the wrong way, that's where you have to have that conversation up front. Hey, do you know how to defend foot,
Yeah.
toe holds, like, heel hooks, like stuff like that. You should have that conversation up front. But if they agree to it and you get there and they turn and they injure themselves, it's sad, but it's on them.
Yeah.
But if I'm in control of your foot and I do something that isn't catch and release, I'm a dick.
I think that's the only submission where in training you have to be like have that moment of like, all right, are we doing this type of thing, and then we can proceed.
Yeah,
you know,
I like deciding ahead of time, because if you agree ahead of time and then we get there, like I'm going to catch you and I'm going to get it, you know, like in a compromised position, but I'm not going to torque it, right? Yeah, because we know what happens if you do. Like
I just.
Oh,
So I'm down with heel hooks. I know how to do it. I know how to get out. I know how to defend them. But there was a dude like my first day of Renzo's. Like as soon as we were doing Henzo's, my bad. we were doing King of the Hill, and as soon as I started off in guard, he just immediately started to like try and heel hook me. So
who was it? Call him out.
No. What belt? No. What belt?
So the thing is, I've only seen him in nogi. I don't know.
I wonder who it was.
So I think I know who you're talking about.
I've taken it.
What did it look like?
I started to.
Was it one of the Russians? No.
He's Asian, but I started to kind of immediately realize that's all he knows. So I've like deliberately smashed the fuck out of him every chance I've gotten, just because I know he's just gonna try and torque on my knee, and he wasn't nice about it. And like that's what I realized. Like, oh, he's not safe.
Yeah,
he's not safe at all.
Yeah, Henzo's is like I've never had anybody there mess up. You know, with like heel hooks, like if they get there, it's catch and release. But yeah, there are guys that I feel like they're not letting the rest of their game progress because all they're doing is attacking legs. And Danaher talks about this. Yeah. You know, like you have to be an effective passer in order to even make yourself a threat with leg locks. Yeah. But then if you threat leg locks, you make yourself a more sophisticated passer because they're constantly have to go between protecting you from obviously getting past their guard, and then defending the legs.
Yeah, so, exactly.
But you can't just forsake the rest of your game for like, oh, I'm just going to be good at heel.
He just immediately tried to go. Yeah. It was like, bro,
you just gave him the mother's milk.
So I won't do that shit, bro. Like, so I have a brother. He also trains. I have two brothers. They both train. And the one I have the bigger rivalry with, all he does is fucking smash people.
Yeah.
He's going to find his time. He's going to eventually get you in side control.
Is he as big as you?
He's bigger than me.
Wow.
Not like he's not taller than me, but he's heavier than me.
Wow.
And he's just going to make your life hell. And that's his thing. Mother's milk, a bunch of pressure taps and Americanas. So I refuse to be that guy.
But in competition, you're going to do what you need to do. No? Wow.
No, even then, I'm still going to try and...
That's discipline, man.
I'm going to try and make... Because I got into jiu-jitsu not about winning. Like, I won enough in football. I played college ball. Like, it is what it is. Nice. Like, winning's fun. Jiu-jitsu was something, like, a learning experience for me at first. But I hate boring matches, dude. And I don't want to be a boring match. And to me, that's what makes a boring match. Just one person trying to lay on someone. So I'm always going to try and do something to make the match progress. I'm not going to just stay in side control.
I respect that.
Same.
I mean, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like, my last few matches that I lost were from people stalling, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, come on, let's play. Let's do jiu-jitsu. And they're like, nope. I got a minute and a half.
I'm about to be a backpack for a minute.
I do think there is something to cooking your opponent, and that's what I'm trying to learn how to do in my game. Because I feel like I don't cook people enough. Like, there's a balance between stalling and a balance between, like, I'm going to tire you out just a little bit before I settle into my position.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think if you have side control and you're putting your shoulder in their face and making their life miserable, like, you're going to be able to open up to knee on belly, pass them out, get more points. I like to rack my points up and then go for submissions. Because like even if they, reverse,
complete domination.
Yeah, I mean like if I can, obviously matches work out where maybe I'm down on points or like it's really even, but I always trying to get the finish. Even if there's only 30 seconds left in the match and I'm up 8 points, I still want the submission.
Same.
Because you got to feed that killer instinct.
And the highlight reel, bro.
Oh, come on. Yeah. You got to think about that later, too, right?
Well, also for me, like everything I do is now going on the internet, and it's just proof of the pudding. So if I can do it in a competition, then I feel like, okay, I can say, hey, I can do this move, and then I can show you and teach you. Especially me at I'm a 3-stripe blue belt, so I've been doing this almost. I started we're going on 3-4 years now. So I've been doing this a while. I'm at that point where I could be promoted, but much like you, I travel around a lot. So I'm in that weird gray area of like, he's better than most blue belts, but he's not been promoted yet. So it's that balance that you try to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, going back to the book with winning in mind, Lanny talks about outcome goals versus process goals. Mm-hmm. And outcome goals are good to visualize. Like you visualize yourself being a brown belt. You visualize, yourself winning world championships, and you make affirmation statements around it. I will be world champion. I am world champion material. That's one that I like because I'm not guaranteeing myself an outcome, but I'm inviting myself that I belong there. I am championship material. Those are good to have, but outcome goals are, I think, inferior to process goals. A process goal is I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu, average 5.5 times a week for the next 2 months ahead of this really big competition. I'm going to, eat these specific types of foods at these intervals. I'm going to, it's things that you can control, that you can actually tick the box on. Because if you do that, all the pressure's off you, or not all the pressure's off you, but a lot of the pressure's off you because you've shown up and done what you need to get there. And then he talks about making it about performance, which I know Michael and I talked about this. It's like there's something about being in flow state where you can take the pressure off of yourself of winning and say, I'm focusing on having a good performance. Being in that triad state, that flow state, and not making it about winning, but making it about performing well. Yeah. It takes so much pressure off you, dude.
Go. So last time we was over, we had a talk about what do you say to yourself before you get on the mat? And I forgot what yours was, but all you guys had something, and I remember mine was like, oh, just protect yourself, right? And I felt like that was the thing, like I'm just not trying to get hurt, versus like going out there and like having this feeling like, no, which what mine is now is like I belong here. I belong on these mats. This is my mat right here, And that is, I didn't realize how important that was until like I read that book, and I'm like, and it kind of just came to me like, I belong here. Like, this is my mat. I belong here. There's no one that can stop me. Yeah. And I don't think that's the ego thing. I think that's just a thing that I really feel, and I like, and I need to own that. I want to own that. But yeah.
For sure.
Well, ego, like, it's bad if like you have an uncontrollable ego. Like if you're controlled by your ego, like you can't get tapped, you can't learn, you know everything already. You're that guy. If that's how your ego's set up, that's unfortunate. Right. But if you feed your ego and practice it through a cage, like, oh yeah, I did good today.
I like that.
Like, I'm not gonna let you out, but we did good today.
You get a treat.
And then the day time, like it comes for competition, and you open the cage, and then like, it's all right to be like, yeah, I'm that dude. Like you said, I'm like,
I agree.
It's the mat. Like my last competition, I looked over at the dude and I'm like, this guy in his jiu-jitsu Kaizen gi thinks he's gonna beat me in anime gi, bro. I'm talking crap on him like liking an anime. I love that show, bro. After it was all said and done, I was like, hey, bro, where'd you get that gi? But in the moment, I was like, nah, not this dude.
I have to destroy you. Yeah. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Like, I have to destroy you.
Yeah. And that's the thing in our first match, right? Like, you talked about how you felt that I was so confident, right? That was like, hey, you were in my way. You beat me, don't get me wrong, like, because that whole Kimura situation. But up until that point, you got me in that Kimura, I felt no matter what, I was going to beat you. Up until I got caught, it was like, nah. That's why I was like, damn, this motherfucker got me. Yeah. No, this can't happen right now.
And you were doing your thing too before. And so you did a lot of stuff to make me feel like insecure. I was like, nah, this guy's really good. Caught a dude in a Peruvian necktie. And then a guy tapped, and a guy actually, he tapped. Yeah. And he said, no, he can continue. He can keep going. And then proceeded to beat him down for the rest of the round. Like, this dude's going to be an animal. So, yeah, I was scared that first time. But the second time, I was like, we having fun now.
Yeah, we had fun. And I still lost. But we're going to keep having fun.
Yeah. But we're on the same team now, man.
I'll still find you number one day. I'll find you number one day. That's just it. Goku and Vegeta on the same team. All these three, Deku, Todoroki and Bakugo are all on the same team, but they still want to beat each other. They still want to be the best. I like it. And I think we talk about this, that iron sharpens iron. And like, bro, you're iron for me, whether you realize it or not. And that's why I say, believe that you belong on that mat, because I will bow down to no one that isn't better than me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if you're better than me, I'll bow down to you. But I'm gonna try to figure out your number at some time. You know?
Even
not gonna
then,
quit.
I'll hit a training montage. You got to prove to me like 2 or 3 times that you can before I'm letting it go.
Kind of going off what Devontae was saying, I think like emotional intelligence is a really big piece of it, right? Like if your ego is just out of control and it's something that you can't contain, you're not going to last in jiu-jitsu very long.
Yeah.
And it's something that took me a long time to get. And like, obviously I don't have it completely figured out, but I'm the most emotionally intelligent that I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I could look around the room and probably within 5% pick exactly where I am in the pecking order. And like, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Like where before, like I couldn't accept that there was people better than me or that I could lose to them.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be rolling with these young guys and I don't know, maybe it's like a Gen Z thing. They're just more emotionally intelligent than us or whatever. But like, I could, like they're going hard and I'm like trying to, you know, like they're being scrappy, but like I'll still like work them over, submit them. And like, they don't get discouraged, man. They just keep coming back. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have had that sooner. Because that's an important tool. Like if there's anybody listening that's either starting jiu-jitsu or wants to get into it, if you can just have fun with it and not, like you get beat and you keep coming back and you know that that's going to make you better, you are miles ahead of people that do it and get discouraged and quit, for sure.
That's honestly not even just jiu-jitsu, anything.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like for me, like I had already had my ego shattered by the time I got to jiu-jitsu. Like I played college football. I played against some people that went pro. Like, bro, I played against Christian McCaffrey one time.
Yeah.
Like, that was the day I was like, I'm not going pro. It's not happening. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. But that was beneficial for me down the road just because
For sure.
now whenever I lose in jiu-jitsu, it's like, it is what it is, dude. I'm either going to learn or you're that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, it's always been, I came to this game with a lot of injuries. I've talked about it before in this podcast a lot, but I have a lot of injuries. So I had to come into it with a healthy mindset of knowing that I'm not going to be world champion. I might be, but I don't have everything lined up to be world champion starting the game. So I can aim for that goal, but I still have to be pragmatic about my health and my safety at the end of the day. So what's more important, my health and my safety? But skill acquisition and becoming elite, you can do that without becoming world champion, which is why I say my goal is to be elite black belt.
True.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So what do you feel about like if people like you submit somebody and they don't take it with them, like, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. Like it's the same thing but different attitude. Are you okay with that? Because I'm that person. I'm like, if you catch me, I'm like, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. when are you coming in? When you coming in?
Like I think in a playful way, right? Because like at the end of the day, like if it's my teammate, like their success is my success.
Yes.
And I was talking to Wasley from Henses. I don't know if you know Wasley. Really, dude, like the kid is just grown leaps and bounds. He's like really positive. We've had like a lot of good talks. And like he's one of those dudes, like if there's a measuring stick of everybody's progress and then like Wasley's progress, like he's like beating the average. But that's awesome, man. Like if the room's getting better, you're getting better. So like if somebody gets me, like I'm gonna have to get them next time. But it's like playful.
Yeah.
Because like I want, like if they're doing better, I'm doing better.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it.
It was one of my good friends, T, and he's met him before. He's a monster. He just started jiu-jitsu a year ago.
T scares me. Like he looks like he feels like I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but he feels like he's just like that dude. You ever see Animal with Jet Li? Like where the dude had him on a chain, and you let him off the chain, and he just goes wild. That's what T makes me feel every time I look at him and roll with him.
Wow.
He we did ADCC together, and he was losing to this guy, and coach was like, "You got to do something," and T. I don't know how he got to this position, but he grabbed the guy's legs and picked him up over his head and like threw him on the ground. And I was looking at my coach. I was like, I think we're about to see a casualty. I swear to God. I was like, he killed him. He killed him. But he's like one of those guys that just like, he picked it up so quickly. And I feel like, if I had to go against T, I could get him, but it would be hell. It would be hell, and he would probably get me. And I told him, like, man, you're better than me. And he's been doing it for just a year.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for 3.5, almost 4. And in my head, I'm thinking like, it takes a little bit for me. Not it takes a little bit for me. I can admit, I'm like, man, you're gonna be so much better than me in this. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, I'm able to do that.
That's good.
You know.
It's important.
Yeah.
I'm fine with people who are better than me. I'm just not gonna make it easy for them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna get better than me, you're gonna. I want the day you realize that you're better than me to be an exciting fucking day for you. Like, I want you to be like, oh my god, I finally fucking did it. Like, I finally did it.
So you'll be okay if a white belt came in, he was training for 6 months, and then like in 6 months he was doing you. You'll be okay with that?
So here's the thing, bro. Like, I've already told you guys, I'm not a competitor like that. Like,
Okay.
I've always kind of had that mentality of I'm gonna help my teammates get ready for competition.
You're using jiu-jitsu for a different
Yeah, like sometimes
Nice.
I'll jump into a tournament, you know,
Yeah.
but like it's not my main goal. So my assumption is if that white belt's been here for 6 months, I had a hand to play. Like I've given him advice. If he grows past me, hey, good job.
I like that.
You know?
Yeah, me too.
And that's how we both are. Kind of like I compete, but my goal is to teach. Like I said, my injuries, I know where I rank. Yeah. And like you were saying, I walk into a room, I know where I rank. After I roll with that room, I'm like, okay, I got you. I don't have you. I got you.
Yeah.
Don't have you. Don't have, it just goes down the list.
And maybe that's healthy to do. Maybe it's not. I don't know. We all do it. Look,
We
it's
all
like,
do it. Everyone
Sizing
does it.
everyone
you
up.
know.
It's only healthy if you keep that ego in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like the overarching message is we got to balance that ego. We need to keep it, but we got to balance it.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Well, I think we're at our time, gentlemen. DJ, it's on you, bro. It's on you.
Hey man, thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on all platforms. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
Got any shout outs you
Yeah, I
guys
was going to
want?
say, where can we find you at? Where we can get rolls with you at, Nate? And
Oh yeah.
Nathan, go first.
I got like 20 days left in LA before I pack up and I'm gone for a while.
where you going, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm in 2 weeks. I'm going away for 3 weeks to the Middle East, and then when I get back, I'm here for I think a week and a half before our lease is up.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get as much training in it at Henzo Gracie LA. Shout out, awesome gym, really accepting of drop-ins and really, really good roles. Tons of high-level black belts, Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu program. But yeah, I'm on Instagram if you want to follow my my competitions, my journeys. I drop in a bunch of different gyms around the country, around the world, and post about them and stuff. It's not my job or anything. I'm a hobbyist, but I take it pretty seriously. I treat it like it's one of my consulting gigs. I like to think.
Respect.
But yeah, Nathan James Hyland on Instagram. But thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no,
So,
thank
thanks
you.
for coming.
Man, you can find me on Instagram at Casey2Cool, and come in anytime to Jean-Jacques Machado's and come play. I'm really a soft roll, so you'll love it.
Don't lie.
And fortunate, that's not a lot. Like, look, if you bring the pressure, I'll return the favor to you. And you can catch me at Forge, which is
It's in Lake Balboa.
Lake Balboa. They have open mats every Sunday at 12 o'clock, and it's lit. So please come by if you can.
And I will attend to that. And you guys can catch me at Forge and also at Misfits. So I've got to figure out what my schedule is. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Shout out to Jimmy and Misfits, man. He helped me Kimura everybody in the in-house tournament, and everyone was booing me. And me and Jimmy walked out there with a smile on our face. So thank you again,
Is that
Jimmy.
where you got your Kimura from?
No. I always had it, but he made it better, and he helped me Kimura. I Kimura like 8 dudes, and they were pissed.
I can't wait to start studying this Kimura with Jimmy. Jimmy, I can't wait. Because I know what he does with the Kimura. So. Thank you guys for tapping in. Stay blessed.